The boxing world is buzzing with anticipation, and for good reason. After years of speculation, heated exchanges, and what many fans have called outright avoidance, the dream matchup is finally set: Canelo Alvarez versus Terence "Bud" Crawford. This isn't just another fight, it's a collision of two of the most dominant forces in modern boxing, a clash that promises to define legacies and reshape the sport's hierarchy. The announcement didn't come quietly. It was punctuated by a face-off that sent shockwaves through the boxing community, a moment so intense it felt like the fight had already begun. Scheduled for September 12, 2025, at a stadium in Las Vegas, this showdown is being hailed as the fight of the century, a battle between two generational talents who have nothing left to prove but everything to gain. The stage was set right after Canelo's latest victory, a dominant performance against William Skull at the MGM Grand. Still glistening with sweat, gloves off, and the adrenaline of victory coursing through him, Canelo stood in the center of the ring, basking in the cheers of the crowd. But the atmosphere shifted when Terence Crawford, cool and calculated, stepped into the ring like a man on a mission. No pleasantries, no forced smiles, just two warriors locking eyes, inches apart, with the weight of history hanging in the air. The crowd erupted, split down the middle, some chanting, "Canelo, Canelo," others roaring, "Bud, Bud." The energy was electric, reminiscent of the feverish anticipation surrounding Mayweather versus Pacquiao a decade ago. This was no ordinary face-off, it was a declaration of war. Crawford's journey to this moment has been one of relentless ambition. A two-time undisputed champion, he's carved a path through boxing's lighter weight classes, lightweight, junior welterweight, and welterweight, leaving a trail of broken opponents in his wake. His demolition of Errol Spence Jr. to claim the undisputed welterweight crown was a masterclass, a performance that silenced doubters and solidified his status as the pound-for-pound king. But Crawford has always wanted more. For years, he's called out Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, only to be met with deflections. Canelo, a man who's faced and defeated some of the biggest names in boxing, dismissed the challenge, citing Crawford's size. "He's too small," Canelo would say. "I can't go down in weight anymore." To Canelo, fighting Crawford was a lose-lose proposition: win, and critics would say he beat a smaller man; lose, and his legacy would take a catastrophic hit. But Crawford never backed down. Every time Canelo dodged the challenge, Crawford doubled down, stacking victories and building a resume that made the excuses sound hollow. From lightweight to welterweight, he's run through divisions like a force of nature, and now he's ready to storm the gates of super middleweight. "I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life," Crawford said in the lead-up to the announcement. "They underestimate me, but I always find a way to win." His confidence isn't just bravado, it's backed by a career of defying the odds. When he steps into the ring on September 12th, he'll be moving up to 168 pounds, a weight class where Canelo has been untouchable, undefeated, and undisputed. The face-off that broke the internet wasn't just about theatrics, it was a glimpse into the psyche of both fighters. Canelo, the face of Mexican boxing, carried himself like a king defending his throne. His body language screamed, "This is my house." Crawford, on the other hand, was the picture of calm intensity, his smirk betraying a quiet confidence. "I feel great," Crawford said when asked about the matchup. "Canelo's one of the best, and I like sharing the ring with fighters like that." But beneath the respect lies a burning desire to prove he's the best, period. Crawford's not here for belts or accolades, he's here to win, to cement his name among the all-time greats. The road to this fight has been paved with tension, not just between the fighters but in the broader boxing ecosystem. One of the loudest voices pushing for this matchup has been Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo's former promoter and now one of his fiercest critics. The bad blood between Canelo and De La Hoya runs deep, stemming from Canelo's departure from Golden Boy Promotions. De La Hoya has been relentless in his campaign to see Canelo face Crawford, and he's not shy about picking a side. "Crawford's a smart fighter," De La Hoya said. "He's like Bruce Lee in the ring, and he's in his prime. If this fight happens, I'm going with Crawford." For De La Hoya, this isn't just about boxing, it's personal. When Canelo steps into the ring, De La Hoya will be ringside, rooting for Crawford to deliver the upset and hand Canelo a rare loss. Let's rewind to the fight that set this all in motion: Canelo versus William Skull. Skull came in undefeated, hyped as a dangerous contender with the hunger to dethrone the king. But from the opening bell, it was clear he was out of his depth. Canelo stood in the center of the ring, a predator toying with his prey. He cut off the ring, landed body shots and uppercuts, and broke Skull down with surgical precision. It wasn't a fight, it was a clinic. By the final bell, the judges' scorecards were a formality, a wide unanimous decision for Canelo. "I feel great," Canelo said post-fight. "A win is a win, but to put on a great show, you need both fighters." Skull was too defensive. Frustrated but victorious, Canelo was ready to move on to bigger challenges. That's when Crawford entered the picture. The crowd, still buzzing from Canelo's performance, lost its collective mind when Crawford stepped into the ring for the face-off. "I'm feeling blessed," Crawford said. "Everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason I'm here. In September, I'm going to show the world what greatness looks like." Asked about Canelo's performance against Skull, Crawford was diplomatic but pointed. He did what he had to do to get the job done. The subtext was clear. Crawford believes he's a different beast, one Canelo hasn't faced before. This fight is about more than just two men throwing punches. It's about legacy, pride, and the pursuit of greatness. For Canelo, it's a chance to silence the critics who've accused him of ducking Crawford. A win would reinforce his status as the face of boxing, not just in Mexico but globally. He's been the king of super middleweight, undefeated at 168 pounds, with victories over the likes of Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Sergey Kovalev. His power is devastating, his experience unmatched. He's fought bigger men, stronger men, and come out on top every time. But Crawford isn't just another challenger. He's a once-in-a-generation talent, a fighter who's never lost and never backed down. Crawford's case is compelling. His skill set is unparalleled, lightning-fast hands, a high boxing IQ, and the ability to switch stances seamlessly. He's not just a boxer, he's a problem solver in the ring, adapting to his opponent's style and exploiting weaknesses. Against Spence, he made an elite fighter look ordinary, picking him apart with precision. But the jump to 168 pounds is a gamble. Canelo isn't just bigger. He's a natural super middleweight who's even dabbled at light heavyweight. The power dynamic is a concern. Crawford has never faced a puncher like Canelo, whose body shots and uppercuts have crumpled world-class fighters. Some analysts worry about what happens when Crawford takes a clean shot to the chin or ribs. "This ain't Spence or Porter," one commentator noted. "This is Canelo, the face of Mexican boxing with knockout power in both hands." Yet Crawford thrives on being the underdog. Every time he's moved up in weight, the doubters have emerged, and every time, he's proven them wrong. "They said I was too small for welterweight," Crawford said. "I went up and won. They said Spence was too good. I made it look easy. I've been fighting bigger guys my whole life, and I always come out on top." His confidence is infectious, but the stakes are higher than ever. At 168 pounds, he's not just facing a bigger man, he's facing a legend in his prime. Crawford's only fight above 147 pounds, against Israel Madrimov, was far from his best, raising questions about how he'll handle the size and power at super middleweight. The boxing world is divided. Some, like Edgar Berlanga, believe Crawford's skills give him the edge. "Skill for skill, Bud trumps," Berlanga said. But the weight difference is in Canelo's favor. Others, like Sean Porter, are concerned about Crawford's ability to absorb Canelo's punches over 12 rounds. "Canelo's going to try to start fast, bang on him, and break him down," Porter said. "Crawford's a boxer-puncher, not an elusive fighter like Mayweather. He gets hit, and Canelo hits hard." The debate rages on, with fans and analysts dissecting every angle: speed, power, footwork, experience. It's a fight that could go either way, a rare matchup where both fighters have legitimate claims to victory. If Crawford pulls off the upset, the implications are monumental. Beating Canelo at 168 pounds, as an undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, would cement his place among the all-time greats. "What could they say?" Crawford asked. "If I go up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo, what could the doubters say?" It would be a Hall of Fame moment, a feat that would echo through boxing history. For Canelo, a win would be equally significant. It would shut down the narrative that he's been avoiding Crawford and reinforce his dominance as the sport's biggest star. This isn't just a fight, it's a legacy-defining moment for both men. As September 12th approaches, the countdown is on. The boxing world is holding its breath, waiting to see who emerges victorious in this clash of titans. Will Canelo's power and experience prove too much, or will Crawford's skill and heart defy the odds once again? One thing is certain: when these two step into the ring, the world will be watching. This is more than a fight, it's a battle for supremacy, a chance to etch their names in the annals of boxing history. Who do you got?